I hope you enjoyed today's playlist. It's got me kind of pumped for UFC on Fuel 5. Should be some fun action. The British fans always bring the enthusiasm. And now I'm going to turn to a grimmer and more dark topic. And that's the question of fight promotions holding matching clauses over the heads of fighters. This has gotten some publicity recently and caused a bit of a back and forth between UFC President Dana White and Bellator CEO Bjorn Rebney. I think it came up most recently as Roger Hollett, who made his UFC debut in a pretty unimpressive loss to Matt Hamill on the UFC 152 main card. Hollett barely got into the UFC at all because Bellator snagged him and insisted that he meet the matching terms of his contract. Here's the deal. Hollett had been fighting for Bellator. He claims that he showed him some medicals that showed that there was some concern that he might have some muscle buildup around his heart. Bellator cut him. Those medicals turned out to be nothing. The UFC then signed him to fight Hamill. Then Bellator suddenly was interested in the guy and insisted that they get their chance to match the UFC's offer. Well, there was a lot of shenanigans as Vladimir Matyushenko was then put into the fight. Hollett was pulled off the card. Matyushenko got injured. Hollett gets back in, etc., etc. The UFC more than matched what Bellator was willing and able to offer. But Hollett spilled some sour grapes out in the press, and that led Dana White to call what Bellator's business practices scumbag and borderline criminal, only for Bjorn Rebney to come back at him in an interview with Ariel Helwani on MMA Fighting's MMA Hour and say, hey, the UFC does the exact same thing. They cut King Mo, that's Muhammad Lawal, and then made us meet their, they had the chance to match Bellator's requirements or Bellator's offer. And you know what? I think Bjorn Rebney scores a win here. Dana White, it's not too cool to be calling somebody scumbag and borderline criminal when you're doing the same thing they're doing. And after all, you accused, I believe, sued Bellator in court for stealing your contracts and modeling their contracts on Zuffa's contracts. So I have to score that one for Bjorn Rebney. It's bad optics. I think it's not an unsound business practice on the part of the promotions. The fighters don't have a lot of leverage. What else are they going to expect in a world like we live in? It's a winner-take-all, dog-eat-dog kind of world, kids. Might as well get used to it and adapt. However, I think Dana White took the PR hit on the chin. And, more importantly, with Strikeforce fighters, the entire league basically being in limbo when they can get an event together. Some of the top fighters in Strikeforce can barely get one fight a year going, and that's not so cool, especially when they're topped out. They can't leave Strikeforce thanks to the Zuffa's deal with Showtime. Not too cool, folks. Anyway, that's an abbreviated rant of the day. I'll be back tomorrow with more whining, bitching, and complaining in my own inimitable little Dr. Evil style. I believe I've been called. Maybe I'll put on a hat. We'll see tomorrow. Have a good day, and we'll be back.